Andile ran into two rather impressive fellow Zimbos. They are fintech startup founders who are making waves in their country. Here they are sharing a little bit about their businesses as well as commenting on the state of play in Zimbabwe's tech ecosystem.
Hi, I'm Tawanda Kembo. I'm from Harare, Zimbabwe. I'm working on BitFinance, a startup which is making it super easy for people who want to buy Bitcoin to buy them and people who want to sell Bitcoin to sell them.
I'm Vusi Ndebele. I'm from Web Dev in Zimbabwe. The product I'm here about today is PayNow, which is our online payments gateway, which is the only payment gateway in Zim, fully integrated with Visa, MasterCard, as well as the mobile wallet, EcoCash, Telecash, and our local switching platform, ZimSwitch.
Okay, but you've been involved in several other platforms as well. What would we be more familiar with if we didn't know PayNow?
Okay. You'd probably be more familiar with our marketplace, classifieds.co.zw, and our property vertical, property.co.zw, which are the two largest classified sites in Zim.
I'll ask you, Tawanda, to tell me, what's the appeal in using Bitcoin? The average Zimbabwean who probably has access to EcoCash or any number of other sort of money remittance options. Why BitFinance and why Bitcoin to start with?
Usually our customers have two reasons for using Bitcoin. So one is we already have means of sending money, stuff like EcoCash, mobile money is what we know it is. But Bitcoin transcends the limitations of mobile money. So you can't really use mobile money across borders. So I can't send money via EcoCash to someone in Botswana or someone in Mogadishu, but with Bitcoin I can. The second reason is people who want to reduce transaction fees. So think about it. It costs about 10 to 15% of the money you're sending when you send it via Western Union, if you're sending it across a border. So with Bitcoin, it's close to zero, where they are sending $1 or $1,000. So Bitcoin is kind of appealing to people who do business across borders. So they want to move money across borders in a very cheap and easy way.
What have you identified at PayNow as a pain point that you're solving?
We're set up as a payment service provider, serving both businesses who want to receive payments from their customers and have real-time notification of payment and easily reconcilable statements. For their customer, we're offering them the opportunity to pay their business without restrictions on time or place and using their preferred payment instrument. So the appeal really is to both sides. We're trying to make sure that your customer really doesn't ever have an excuse not to pay you.
Currency is always a buzzword in Zimbabwe. What challenges have you found in getting people to trust not just your platform in the case of BitFinance, but the currency itself?
I think the biggest challenge is just to educate people, so people don't understand it. They think it's kind of too complicated, and it is for someone who's new to Bitcoin, and that has been our biggest challenge so far. But also, we're still in beta and testing it. We only went live with our beta version on 16 September 2015. Because we're still kind of in beta, we're not marketing aggressively, and we are just growing slowly, which is what we want right now. Is we're still focused on building out the platform.
Can I ask you a simple question? What does Zimra think of you guys?
We haven't started engaging them yet. We've just started engaging an accounting firm called FFG, and they are going to be handling the whole tax compliance stuff for us. Very smart people. They understand Bitcoin very well and our business model very well. I think FFG is going to take care of that.
I'm sure your firm will be seeking to engage the Reserve Bank in similar manner, right?
But we've already started engaging the central bank. So we've had a few meetings. We have a few more meetings coming up. And the reason is we know Bitcoin is kind of like, some regulators like it, some don't. Some like certain aspects of Bitcoin, some don't. So as we're building out our platform, we just want to make sure that we don't want to fight with the regulator. We want to make sure that we make them happy.
And Vusi, your platform, and correct me if I'm wrong, is set up to actually play quite well with the legacy institutions that we have currently. So I know you mentioned in your intro that your platform is integrated with MasterCard and Visa, and I imagine the banks are pretty okay with you guys.
Generally, yes. So The banks and actually the mobile operators actually quite like having an aggregator like us. Many of them are not set up to deal with hundreds of very small merchants, helping them to integrate, and each of those merchants with I suppose differing levels of expertise. So they're not set up to handle a 3-week integration with a developer who isn't so familiar with the technology that they're working with. So yeah, certainly from our side, although it took a long time to get these relationships set up, we do work very well with all of the partners that we're integrated with. And as new payment channels come up and available on the market, they are always quick to come and ask to work with us.
And does your platform receive Bitcoin?
It doesn't currently receive Bitcoin. The key thing that we provide to our merchants is funds settled directly into their bank account. So for instance, even if their customer pays them from a mobile wallet, from EcoCash or Telecash, we settle it directly into their bank accounts at end of play. So for Bitcoin to be an option, we would need to really kind of understand the regulatory environment around that, and also to make sure that we're able to liquidate that into US currency and settle it along with all the other funds at day end.
Are you guys sort of capitalizing on the fact that a multinational like PayPal hasn't looked at Zimbabwe as a serious place to grow? Do you think that being homegrown is an advantage that someone like PayPal can't easily copy and attack?
Yeah, we're definitely taking advantage of that fact. As well as being just homegrown, and we benefit from our experience in the market and other things that we do. So we develop a lot of software, a lot in the financial services sector. We build a lot of the websites in Zimbabwe. We host a lot of the infrastructure in Zim. So when we built PayNow, we thought immediately a huge amount of innovators would begin to develop applications that integrated with it, and we were a bit disappointed by the pace. So we realized that we really had to actually go in and help customers. So just the availability of a global payments gateway doesn't mean success. You do need, at this early stage, in quite a nascent market like ours, you do need to be actually engaging with the customers to help them align their business processes and actually make the most of online payments.
So, Tawanda, do you think the absence of a national currency in Zimbabwe, or at least a Zimbabwean currency in circulation currently, might make regulators open to the notion of Bitcoin, given that the legal tender currently is the US dollar? They might not have as much to lose as, say, South Africa do, in the worries that an unregulated currency might usurp the country's one.
Yes, I definitely agree with that reasoning. The absence of a national currency is an advantage. And so I see Zimbabwe as the best use case for Bitcoin in the world for that reason. Also, looking at the fact that you can use multiple currency as legal tender, I also see Zimbabwe as having the best exchange control regulations in the world.
Wow, that's quite a statement. I'm hoping as a Zimbo myself that you guys take this one all the way to the bank, because in many respects, I think Zimbabwe is the best example out there for how things technically should run but never do.
Yeah.
Before you go, give me a sense of what the tech scene is like. You've spent an afternoon, or at least a full day at Afrikoin Joburg, mixing and mingling with some of your contemporaries from across the continent. Based on what you've seen, I know you're not here a lot of the time, but what is your sense as developers, as startup founders, owners of platforms, as integration specialists? Tell me what differences sort of stand out for you between the scene you've observed here in Zimbabwe. Vusi?
I'm impressed actually by the contribution of established players. So, for instance, you will probably find that many tech-oriented conferences in Zim will have a lot of individual developers. It'll really be exclusively people from the tech and dev community. Whereas here we've had, a number of banks here, financial institutions, all sorts of established organizations that are actually here. And I think that contributes to the quality of discussion that we have, and the knowledge that might influence something in these big organizations which really wield the power. So I do think that it would be good if we're able to get the same sort of engagement from big industry, I suppose, in Zim, to make sure that our developers are listening to their problems and the other way around.
And didn't it feel good to listen to big players like Vusi says, people like Dominique Collett at Rand Merchant Insurance Holdings say things like they realize the need for them to partner and harness the enthusiasm, the ideas, the knack for innovation of startups like yours, Tawanda?
Sure. Not only that, but there are these big banks who have cut real checks to startups, and I think that is important to for the ecosystem where you have this you have a lot of institutional support. I think that's important for any startup ecosystem. And in Zimbabwe we are not quite there yet, but hopefully we'll get there soon.
And so what's the hope? What's the end game? This is my last question to you guys. What's the end game for you guys as startup founders? Are you guys chasing acquisition? Are you looking to exit at some point, when someone cuts a check, like you say, Tawanda? Are you here for the long term? Do you have legacy issues that you guys grapple with as you build new brands and new businesses online and create platforms?
We constantly innovate. We, over the last couple of years, have put out a new product onto the market every kind of, maybe 13, 14 months. So we're in the business of continuing to create new things. So as for the things that we've created and whether we would offload them, most definitely at the right price.
All right. And VCs are listening to the podcast right now. Are you saying they should give you a call if they're interested?
Absolutely.
And Tawanda, what about you?
Well, we started BitFinance to solve a problem, and that is one of the two things which drives us. So we really want to solve this problem and make it super easy for people to buy or sell Bitcoin in Zimbabwe, and then possibly look to Africa. And then the second reason is to create wealth, of course. So we want to make a lot of money for ourselves and our investors.
Fantastic, guys. Thank you so much for your time. I look forward to rubbing shoulders with you on home soil. That would be nice. Otherwise, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks a lot for your time, Andile.
Yeah, thank you for having us.